All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are tackling a massive question. Is AI going to be a game changer for regulatory affairs, or is it just another wave of hype? The potential here is absolutely huge, but you know what? So are the risks. So let's cut through all that noise and figure out what this technology really means for the future of compliance.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that, well, it's pretty staggering. Up to 70% of a company's day-to-day activities can be impacted by compliance requirements. Just let that sink in for a second. Think about the budget, the hours, the sheer human effort that number represents. It is an enormous footprint on everything we do.
So that leads us to the big question, right? With so much of the business tangled up in compliance, can AI actually lighten that load? Or is it just going to become another complicated layer on top of everything? Creating more problems than it actually solves. Before we can even start talking about solutions, we've got to be crystal clear on the problem. It's something we all feel every day, but let's put a name on it: the compliance burden. It's that constant nagging friction in our work that slows down real innovation and just drains our resources.
So what is it really? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's rewriting basically the same SOP for three different teams. It's spending hours manually digging through FDA databases. It's that endless cycle of copy pasting, chasing down signatures, and navigating clunky approval workflows. It is all that extra duplicated work we do just to tick the compliance box. All right, so now for the AI part of this. The terminology, it can feel a little overwhelming, right? To cut through all that hype, let's just use a simple analogy to make sure we're all on the same page. Let's think of AI like a car. So, at the heart of it all, you've got the large language model, or LLM. This is the core power source. It's been trained on a mind-boggling amount of data so it can understand and generate language. In our car analogy, the LLM, that's the engine. It's where all the raw power comes from. Okay, you've got this powerful engine. So how do you control it? How do you tell it where to go? Well, that's where the prompt comes in. The prompt is your specific instruction. If the LLM is the engine, the prompt is your steering wheel. Simple as that. And this is where it starts to get really, really cool. Agent AI. We're talking about systems that can plan, remember, and act on their own over multiple steps. This isn't just a car you have to drive anymore. No, this is the fully autonomous car that can navigate a whole complex journey all by itself, like, say, monitoring for new regulations and automatically updating your QMS for you. Okay, so these powerful new tools are here. But, and this is a big but, just because everyone on your team has access to a generic AI chatbot, it doesn't mean they're using it correctly. And in our world, in regulatory and quality, where precision is everything, these off-the-shelf tools can actually create some serious new risks. And if you don't believe me, get this. Here's a reality check from a recent MIT report. 95% of organizations are seeing no return on their enterprise AI investments. 95%. That tells you there is a massive gap between the promise of AI and the results people are actually getting. So what's going wrong? Well, let's look at a super common scenario. You've got a founder, they're eager to move fast, and they give a generic AI a seemingly simple prompt, just like this one. On the surface, it seems totally reasonable, right? But the output you get back can be dangerously incomplete. You see, a generic AI is going to spit out a template that looks plausible, but it's a ghost. It knows absolutely nothing about your device's specific life cycle. It can't reference your internal SOPs. It's going to miss critical verification steps. And most importantly, it has zero, and I mean zero, context about your organization, your processes, your risk appetite. It's a hollow shell. And this is the whole point, isn't it? The quality of the output you get is 100% tied to the quality of the input you give it. A vague prompt like, audit my CAPA SOP. It's always going to get you a vague, pretty useless answer. To get a powerful result, you have to give it a powerful, well-structured prompt.
So what's the secret sauce? Well, here's a recipe for a great prompt. It breaks down into 5 key parts. You need to give the AI a persona. Tell it who to be. A clear objective. What's its goal? A defined audience. Who is this output for? Critical context. A little bit about your company. And firm boundaries. Tell it what to focus on and what to ignore. This is how you go from a generic toy to a precision instrument.
Now, learning to write better prompts, that's step one. That's huge. But it's really just the foundation for a much, much bigger transformation. A shift from seeing AI as this reactive tool that you have to constantly poke and direct to seeing it as a proactive partner that works right alongside you.
I mean, just look at a common task like a gap analysis. Today, it's a manual slog through spreadsheets. Tomorrow, with better prompting, it becomes AI assisted, and that's a huge step up. But the real future? It's fully automated. Just imagine an AI agent that is constantly scanning the regulatory horizon and flags potential gaps in your system before you even know you need to look for them. That's the dream, right? Continuous compliance. So, what does all this mean for you, for the human professional at the center of all this? Well, the core mission, making sure products are safe and effective, that never, ever changes. But as the tools get smarter, so does your role. You're being elevated from being a doer to being a strategist. And I love this quote because it just nails the new reality for quality and regulatory professionals. You're not just a document manager anymore. You are the strategic advisor, the one weighing that critical balance between benefit and risk for the entire organization. Think about it. Your focus is shifting. It's evolving from creating the documents to validating the strategy, from just following checklists to applying your deep institutional knowledge and empathy. You're moving way beyond the paperwork to become the conscience of the company, navigating those complex trade-offs between innovation and compliance. Because look, if you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. AI can help with the process of compliance, for sure, but the outcome, the actual safety and efficacy of a product, that still depends entirely on people. It depends on your expertise, your judgment, and the culture of quality you build. The tools can help, but you lead. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. This technology, it is not slowing down. The tools that are going to define the next decade of our profession are being built as we speak. So the only real question left is, are you ready to lead the change?